Trump is laying the law down in Iran the same way. And Iran, just like Puerto Rico, just like the governor of Puerto Rico, and just like all these countries south of the border, these countries, and in Pakistan, they take our aid. The government takes it, they keep it, the people don't see it. Iran has been taking this money and funding terrorism all over the world. And the people don't even see the money, because I've read from the Foreign Desk, if you want to read a good website, honest website on the internet, the Foreign Desk, that the people in Iran would like to be more like America, and they don't like the mullahs. They would like secular rule. They'd like to be free, except they're being oppressed by this particular law, Sharia, where that country, the government tried to change the law where a man could marry a 9-year-old girl or have sex with a 9-year-old girl after he married her. But because it's not secular, it's run by the mullahs, the Ayatollah, they said that you can't do that because you're saying that Muhammad did something wrong and we must imitate Muhammad, and Muhammad is perfect. Muhammad had sex with Aisha. He married her at 6, and Aisha had not reached her menses yet. We know that because she was playing with dolls. If you reach your menses, you cannot play with dolls because that's considered idol worship. So the government, the people of Iran, used to be ancient Persia. A very interesting country, very beautiful history. They were Zoroastrians, and they tried to change that, because if a girl, even if she just got her period, she's not fully developed. And if she has a baby, she could die in childbirth because her hips aren't wide enough. Or she becomes barren because it actually damages her insides to have sex that young. So they tried to change this, but the mullahs are ruling. And that's the problem. These governments are corrupt, and you don't have to always blame America all the time for this. Right now, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has made a trip through South America, trying to make deals, trying to get these countries on board to make things better. Mexico has refused. Now, they don't want to keep the people in Mexico when they apply for asylum, because what happens is when these caravans come through and they stay in the town, the people are complaining that crime skyrockets, and it's by these people that are coming through. And they also are complaining that they don't have the money to pay for these people to stay here and live for nothing. The people don't want that. And in fact, they were saying, make Tijuana great again. People in Tijuana were saying that, and they were admiring Trump. But you don't hear that. The MSM isn't going to tell you that. So they're trying to make a different kind of deal with Mexico. What we really just need to do is build a big wall on the border of Mexico so nobody comes in. So Mexico is protected, and then we don't have these endless caravans coming into America. But what Trump is trying to do, El Salvador is a beautiful country. The president is part Palestinian. And he said that it's time to stop blaming America. All these countries say that we're poor because America did this. And he said, no, these countries are poor because the government is corrupt. Just like the government of Puerto Rico is corrupt. But they won't admit that Trump was right, and Trump did send aid. They won't even give him that much, which means every single one of those candidates is a liar. And they're saying anything possible to get elected, and they can get this vote that's coming over the border that is endless. It's endless because the whole world is funneling in to South America. You get that information for the Center of Immigration Studies through Panama and Costa Rica. And there's 400 million people south of the border. They're all funneling in. You you all can get that vote, and the Democrat Party will be in party forever. So you must continue the lie. Not one of them has a sense of nobility or truth. Not one of them. All of them are lying. Well, the president of El Salvador has many coastlines. It's a beautiful country. And it could be built up. And tourism, they could make so much money on tourism. That country, like Venezuela, doesn't have to be poor. Venezuela is sitting on the richest oil reserves in the entire North and South America. They're sitting on the biggest ones. And they didn't used to be socialist. Hugo Chavez came in. He embezzled billions from the people, and he turned the country socialist. So now people in the hospital are lying on the floor. They're reusing needles. They've eaten all their pets. They've eaten all the zoo animals. They haven't had toilet paper for many years. People are starving, and it's all because of socialism. And we are giving these countries money. It's time to stop giving these countries money because they're just embezzling the money. They're not helping the people. If you Democrats care about helping the people, you see what you're doing is, what these Democrats are doing is they're putting money into the pockets of all these leaders. So they're getting favors from these leaders. And it looks good, but the people still suffer. So it means these Democrats do not care about the people that are suffering. They're just giving their friends money. There's some kind of kickback. Yeah, we'll take the money and we'll send you voters. And you guys will be in power forever. There's some kind of pay-for-play scheme going on. But the president of El Salvador says that it's time that we fix our own country. And can you imagine? See, it's crime-ridden. And that you've got to get rid of the crime, just like the drug cartels on the border of this. Lest we forget, they want to keep these borders open. We've heard about the sex trafficking, human trafficking, MS-13, all these horrible deaths, and people coming in and working under the table and living on the American taxpayer. And they want to give them all free health care. We hear about all this, but lest we forget, near the end of the Bush administration, before Al-Qaeda cut their first head off, and then ISIS took over, it took like a long time to slice the head off. I think Perlman, I forget his first name, was a journalist, American journalist. And they slowly sliced his head off, and they filmed it. Before that was done, the drug cartels of Mexico were slicing the heads off of hundreds of thousands of people, untold amounts of people they were slicing the heads off of. And you heard on the news, did you forget this? That they were leaving the headless bodies all over the border. And they filmed the decapitations. They did it before Al-Qaeda. In fact, they may have given Al-Qaeda the idea. And I thought to myself, I'm not going anywhere near Mexico. So this is going on too, you see. So by you Democrats and all you people who think all these people are all saints, the ones that keep recycling children, the parents get the money and they keep sending the child over the border, the people get into the country with the kid, then they send the kid back and the kid gets sent back over, and eventually that kid is going to die. And all these children are sent over with plan B because they know they're going to get raped or sold into sex trafficking. And adults are sold as slaves, human trafficking. Yet you Democrats, oh no, must keep the border open because this is what Jesus would do. No, Jesus wouldn't do that. You see, Jesus wouldn't do that. And he would do something about the headless bodies and the drug cartels, which own all the states. They control all the states on the border of Mexico. That's where they're the heaviest, okay? That's where the crime is. Big problem. That's why we need a big, beautiful, powerful wall at the border to stop this, to protect the people, the Hispanics that are here, that don't want to be beheaded, because these people, these gangs that come over, they primarily kill them in sadistic ways. They beat them, they stab them many times, they rape them, they cut their hearts out, and they cut their heads off. And then they bury them in a shallow grave. This is what's happening. And these Democrats don't really care. And they're completely ignoring the solution, which is working with these countries to build these countries up, to get rid of the crime in these countries. And the countries have to say, yes, we will do it. It's our responsibility. It's a socialist lie that keeps getting propagated, that it's because of America that these people, no, it's because of the crime, the drugs, and of course the cartels wouldn't, the cartels are there because the Americans want the drugs. If the Americans didn't want the drugs, and the cartels and all this crime in South America wouldn't exist. And the cartels are making billions of dollars on these immigrants alone. You're putting money into the hands of people who decapitate other people and murder them in horrible ways, and rape them and rape children and sell people into slavery. And you want to keep this going? You're heartless bastards, you Democrats. Every single one of you Democratic candidates. I don't care how sensible one of you sounds, you and your infanticide craze. Partial birth abortion was enough. Those are pieces of a baby on that table. No, that's not. You're seeing an illusion. No, that's what it is. That's partial birth abortion. But no, they want the baby whole, because somebody out there some rich person out there wants to buy these organs. We've got it on tape. We know that Planned Parenthood is selling these pieces of these dead babies. Now they want a whole, full-grown baby. Yes, you are so noble, you Democrats. You bleeding heart what? You just want power. You just want to be president and have power. Trump isn't making any money. He's donating his income, all of his pay, to disabled veterans. And by gum, you know there's nobody that's going to hire him for speeches. Like Obama, he gets $500,000 a pop for speeches to Wall Street, who these credit card companies who he bailed out, who charge people 33% interest so they can never pay it down. Instead of saying, no, we're not going to bail you out, we're going to bail the people out, and we're going to change the law that you cannot charge any more than 5% interest. That way you're not putting people in the poorhouse, and people aren't putting their groceries on the credit card because they don't have enough money, because they have to give you the money to pay their bill every month. But they can only pay the minimum. That's what that's what Obama should have done, and that's what Trump should do. But Trump is the only one that's trying. And you, every single one of you, not one of these candidates are candidates of love or sensibility. They're all over the edge. Next video, I'm going to read you something that I wrote at one of those forums for one of these Democrat candidates. So Trump is actually trying to solve this problem. And can you imagine the money that El Salvador is going to make in tourism if you get rid of that crime? Can you imagine? I mean, no winter, it's all coastline, it's beautiful. That's what Trump is doing. And all these, you think this clown car of Democrat candidates is going to be able to solve anything? They sound like a bunch of children, and they're lying their asses off of I don't care if he's crude. He's doing the right thing, and he's trying to help us. And he's also trying to help these other countries. How about that? On to the next video.
Try this trick and spin. Yeah. head will collapse, and there's nothing in it, and you'll ask yourself, where is my mind? Where is my mind? Where